Congressman Paul, I'm Austin Hines, and I'm speaking to you from Tulsa, Oklahoma. You say that abortion legislation should be decided on the state level rather than the federal level. Does this mean that you believe the morality of the issue is not absolute and that each state should define what they believe on their own? If the Constitution provides a right to life, do we not also have the right to define when that life starts and ends on a federal level? It'd be interesting to hear what you have to say about this.
But I deal with the abortion issue like I deal with all acts of violence. I see the fetus as a human being that has legal rights, has legal inheritance rights from the day of conception. I, as a physician, if I injure the fetus, I have liabilities. If you are in a car accident or if somebody commits a violent act and kills the fetus, they are liable and responsible. But all acts of violence under our Constitution are dealt with at the local level. Murder, secondary, third-degree manslaughter, all these things are done locally, and they're not always easy to sort out. And that's what is the magnificence of our system and our Constitution, is that the more difficult the issue, the more local it should be for sorting out these difficult issues. So I would say yes, the states have the right and the authority to write the rules and regulations and the punishments for acts of violence. And I believe so strongly that this should be at the local level. Therefore, I would not support Roe versus Wade, but I certainly am absolutely opposed to the federal government funding abortion. But I cannot protect and fight for personal liberty if I don't fight for the right to life. And if you endorse abortion moments before delivery or in the third trimester, which is now legal, I as a physician could be paid for it. At the same time, we have devised a system here today that if the baby is born and the teenager or whomever throws the baby away, they're charged with murder. But if you are careless with this attitude, it's more than just a privacy issue and say, well, the privacy of the mother is the only concern. But no, it's whether or not a living being is involved. If it were only the privacy issue, I believe our homes are our castles, and that government shouldn't have cameras there. They should never intrude. But I do not say that because our homes are our castles that we have a right to murder our children. Nobody really endorses that. So it's very hard intellectually to distinguish between the killing of an infant a minute before birth and a minute afterwards. And I think it deserves a lot of attention, but I also recognize it's difficult for a lot of people to sort this out. But that's why we really want the states to sort it out and not have one answer at the federal level. Because if you depend on the federal level to decide these issues, you end up saying, well, it's in the courts, the Supreme Court should rule, and they legislated through that Roe versus Wade incident. They actually got very involved in the details of the medical process of when and what abortions could be done. So I think our system is that you reject that notion, honor the commitment of the Constitution, and try to solve these difficult problems at the local level. And I am quite sure it will not be solved and the solutions will not be perfect. But we don't live in a perfect society. We have to accept the political process which gives us the best answers.